In this video, traders, we look at being a focused trader, some strategies and techniques for keeping that focus. Stay tuned. Hey guys, warm welcome to you. Right, so you know what it's like. You're in front of the screen, you're there, and you're constantly looking at price. You've got charts all over the place. Some of you guys have got massive multiple screens. Some of you guys just got one screen. Whatever the situation, you know there's a lot of data coming at you, and you've got to make a decision. Now, we're human beings. We're not robots. We're not algos. We still have some kind of weaknesses when it comes to not being able to focus. And I'm not going to say it's a weakness, but it's just human nature, right? We can't focus 100% forever. At some point we will fatigue, and at some point that means making poor decisions, not taking in the decision we want, which is why, you know, if you look outside the trading arena, you know, pilots, lorry drivers, etc., are allowed to operate that for a certain amount of time, machinery as well, all that kind of stuff. So some strategies and techniques for remaining focused and staying focused. The first thing is, guys, is to look in a relaxed way. Now, this is an odd concept, but very often, you know, we find that we're burning our eyes or retina into the price we're looking at. You know, in fact, these are probably together, guys. Look in a relaxed way and use your peripheral vision. So, you know, you need to kind of look at the charts and kind of be relaxed with it in terms of letting all the input that you've got. And this is why I'll get to in a moment, not having too much. Having all the input you've got there, whether it's your 15-minute chart, your 5-minute, your 1-minute, whatever other markets you're watching, and letting that input soak in. So you're using your peripheral vision to kind of take stuff in, whereas you're not burning your whole just literally on one minute candle, because we can get into that. We can be like, oh, I'm really just watching this, and then everything else just goes blurred. It's like, okay, take a step back, make sure everything's in, and just relax your eyes a little bit. Just be kind of looking with a little bit of flexibility. You know, I could say the analogy would be, you know, if you're driving down a motorway, you're doing reasonable high speed, you know, you're not focused literally right in front of you. You've kind of relaxed vision. You can see in front of you. You kind of got an idea what's to the side of you. You can see in your mirror, in your peripheral vision, anything in your mirror coming up, especially if it's blue lights, if you shouldn't be going that fast, and that kind of stuff. So you're not just completely focused on the car in front, just looking at his number plate. You're seeing everything. Well, you should be, and that's kind of how you feel. You know, you're in more control of what's going on, and you can be aware of any hazards and stuff you might see. Your peripheral vision, an indicator, you know, you think, right, well, is he coming into this lane? It makes you then look. So it's much more efficient, allowing kind of that to happen. And it's the same thing with markets, guys. If you're there and you're kind of relaxed and you're sitting back a little bit and you're letting all the information come into you, then you're going to make a better informed decision rather than kind of looking. It's harder as well to do that. And so that's the second one, using peripheral vision. And number 3 is recognize fatigue. It's easy to get tired, and I think, you know, sometimes as well, guys, we're humans, we're kind of cyclical. Sometimes we can focus for hours and hours and hours and we don't feel it, we feel like we're on form. Others, you know, you might be sitting there for 20-30 minutes and think, you know, this is tiring me out, whatever that is. Maybe it's something to do with the weather, whether it's to do with, you know, your sleep, your diet, all the kind of things that go in to make that decision for you, or to have that effect on you, should I say. So recognize when you're fatigued and just go, right, you know what, next one is have a refresh routine. Doesn't have to be going away for, you know, an hour. You can literally get up, do some stretches, walk around, glass of water, cup of tea, whatever it may be. Have a 5-minute routine that just refreshes you. You know, whatever that is for you. It's for every different person. We can go through different routines, but you get the idea. The idea is to recognize fatigue, recognize that you need to do something to press reset, and that might not necessarily be a big hard reset like going out and going to the gym or going jogging. It might be, hey, 5-minute routine, I do this, I do some press ups, I do some sit ups, I do some stretching, I walk outside, I breathe kind of outside for 1 minute, or whatever it may be for you. That sometimes is just enough to get you going again for another little spell, another little spell, another little spell. And the temptation, of course, is to stay in front of the screens, guys. I know, I get it, you don't want to miss anything, but honestly, having this little reset, whatever it may be, is just so much better, because you come back refreshed, you're alert, you're ready then for the next thing opportunity that might present itself. I know when to stop. So know when you've had all these little short resets, there's only so much you can do. When you are fatigued, normally coming to the end of the day, especially if you're in Europe, you trade the US session, you know, coming up to kind of, you know, 8 o'clock at night or whatever, you might have been trading in the morning or prepping, and you're starting to fatigue a bit. You can't make the same decisions with the same sort of clarity. You might get a little bit more, you know, emotional with decisions if they don't quite go your way, and you're just a little bit more on edge. So recognize when, hey, you know what, I've just run out of puff. I've run out of steam today. I'm going to shut the computer down. It is what it is. Win or loss. I just recognise that I'm not in the state to be trading this. come back again, there's plenty of more opportunities. And I think, again, understanding and recognizing that fatigue and recognizing when, you know, you've done enough, got some mini resets, and really now it's time to call it a night. And the final thing is do as much as possible to eliminate noise. So this fits in with all of this, because what you don't want is so much noise that you're using your peripheral vision to take an input that doesn't matter. You know, does it really matter about the price of German Bund, for example, if you're not even trading it? Probably not. You maybe look at it from time to time to see what's happening, but if you're, you know, trading S&P 500, for example, then that might not be that relevant. If you're trading Apple, then it's not relevant. So, you know, just have stuff that's relevant in there. And the way to do that is generally to have kind of a couple of screen layouts. Some charting platforms allow you to flick through the two, but you have a layout where you're doing your analysis, and that might include all the different markets, lots of different charts and stuff. And then you have a trading layout where you literally have stuff that is going to help you make decisions, trade the market you decide to trade. So perhaps you do have gold up, perhaps you do have GBP USD up because you're trading FTSE at the moment, or whatever it may be. You get the point. Maybe you just have a few charts, but what you don't want is loads of stuff in there, because you only become numb to it. You've got all this data there and you're not using it to make a decision, then you're going to become blind to it and you're going to miss the data that's valuable. So be kind of treat it precious, that peripheral vision. Put in stuff that you want. Maybe you do want a market that's the driver that you're not trading at the moment. Perhaps that's happens to be GBP USD, or perhaps it is interest rates, who knows, but maybe you do want that there. So if it does start moving, you can see it, you're alerted to it, you can see then, glance over, and it might affect how you trade. You know, maybe you want just the higher time frame chart, so you've still got in peripheral vision a reminder of the levels, etc, etc, etc. So, you know, minimize that noise in terms of what's on your screen, but also minimize the noise in terms of all the stimulation externally. You know, you don't want a kind of a lot of noise happening, you don't want banging doors on, people coming to talk to you, you know, just the usual stuff we've covered before, but it's worth mentioning again, because this is the things, guys, that are easy to do, but they can be the difference between, you know, really, you know, upsetting your week or upsetting your month and actually staying on top of things. Example, you know, coming to the final few hours of the day, you've had an okay day, you want to press a bit more, you're a bit tired, you know, maybe you're trading from home and you've got, there's a family here, there's lots of noise going on, perhaps you can hear, you know, things happening, and there's loads of other input, and you've got loads of things on your screen, you're watching stuff, you're watching news, you're watching this. That might just be enough to make a couple of bad trades that really kind of set you off on a spiral of making bad trades. And it's always better to err on the side of caution, you know, cleaning things out, keep clean as clear as possible, give yourself the best possible chance for success, and that's one of the things you can do that's at no cost. All right, guys, those are some ideas, strategies and techniques to remain focused and to not be focused on too many different things. Again, my opinion doesn't necessarily mean it's right for you. Comment section below is there for you to add your input, agree, disagree, add some value to this, think it's anything that you do to help you focus. Always interested to hear what you guys got to say. All right, take care, until the next one, bye bye.